Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hang on a second. Hey, guys, go on the front camera, will ya? Come on, man. Come on. You guys don't fucking listen. Come on, more. That's it. All right, now up. Lights over there. That's it. Come on, man. Okay, that's it. Good. Thank you. This is Andy Norell with Chasette McPherson. That's Chasette. Oh yeah. Well, time for that old sexy fade off. Here we go. Bye, Chasette. Yeah. All right. Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Carpe Diem. Welcome to the world of Max Headroom. Today we're going to be talking about quite an interesting subject that just happened to me last night and yesterday and all kinds of things. And that has to do with a process that I've been going through for maybe 6 months about Amazon. Yes, Amazon. I have caught them in 5, so I don't get sued, let's say misleading practices that really burn my ass. And they're very, very, it's nothing illegal, I don't think, but I'm going to tell you some stories about that, and there's 5 particular little things they do that I think everybody should be aware of if you're going to purchase anything from Amazon. There's lots of YouTube videos on Amazon, Amazon, cheap. Yeah, but, and I'll be back in a minute to tell you the rest. Suspense, man. Thank you. Okay, let's get down to business. Again, we're talking about Amazon and some of the less than straightforward marketing and business practices they have, which make you think you're saving money, but oftentimes don't. Or encourage you to buy things on impulse. That's another thing that I want to mention. By manipulating the prices. It's very interesting. But let me start out by saying that when I started to redo the video equipment for my YouTube station, I watched all these YouTube videos, and they were saying you should be using camcorders or DSLRs. Well, just aside, in my opinion, nothing could be further from the truth unless you got a cameraman or a crew like I have of 50,000 over here on the side. You guys want to come on the camera? No, you chicken shit. All right. Anyway, well, a DSLR or a camcorder has a real major problem, and that is that the monitor is only 3 inches big. and you can't connect it to an external monitor while it's in record mode. So therefore, you can't watch yourself as you're talking. I'm sure you've heard the expression, practicing a speech before a mirror, so you know what you look. So if you make a gesture or you scratch your butt or whatever it is, and you realize you don't want to do that again, you remembered you did it, and you can watch yourself, and it becomes a circular sort of evolutionary process while you're making the video. It's like doing a selfie video, right? But with a DSLR, you only got 3 inches to watch yourself on, so it doesn't work. But nonetheless, I believe YouTube's, opinion, so I went through a series of exchanges with Amazon. Now, keep in mind something, okay? Because I think this all dates back to the Prime concept, a Prime member. You ever been called Amazon and they know you are and they say, "Hello, Matt Gwynn. Thanks for being a Prime member, and how's your day-to-day?" Prime, well, yeah, I'm not so sure. Because in the process of trying these DSLRs and SLR, I really just stuck with camcorders. But in using them, a lot of things got unleashed. Like I say, one is you can't watch yourself doing the video, so don't buy it anyway. It's stupid, unless you got a cameraman. But and then you still can't see yourself, so I don't know what the logic of that is. But in terms of Amazon, I had to return all this stuff because it was misrepresented. It would say, for instance, it can play on your TV at the same time you're recording on the camcorder. Well, that's not true. It can't. So the first thing that happened was that after making all of these returns, I got a letter from Amazon. Now, keep in mind, I'm a Prime member, and I'm supposed to have unconditional returns, right? And such is really not quite the case. What happened was I got a letter from Amazon. Now, keep in mind, I returned about 5, but I bought about 4, okay? So, and it was all because of misrepresented items, like these camcorder things. And so, I got this letter, and the letter says, in order to improve your, shopping experience, we've noticed that you made a number of returns in the last year. Well, really, it's only been like last 3 weeks, okay? But then I guess that falls within a year. A little sleight of mind there. And they say, so in order to improve your shopping experience, we would like you to write a letter documenting the item number and the reason for each return in the last year. So I know I've got to do at least 5 and explain why. And there were a couple times where I actually did an exchange because I thought the thing was broken, but I realized it was not broken. It was just that I couldn't hook it up to my TV in any way during record mode. So I was exchanging. It was so confusing of why every transaction happened. I could never do it. So I wrote him a letter. I said, look, I'm not going to do it. This is what happened. I'm not looking up all these numbers. They've already refunded the money to me. So what do you make of that? They've already refunded the money. So what does that make? They're giving Mackie a little spanky on the tushy. They're punishing me. They're saying, well, you're a Prime member with unconditional returns, but at the same time, when you returned a little too much, they don't look at how much you bought. They look at how much you returned, and then you get one of these letters that's like a punishment where you have to write your name 100 times on the blackboard. Now, I think that's very questionable. And that's like the first issue I have. Now, while we're speaking about cameras, let's talk about the second one. That is, if you push on a thumbnail on an Amazon item, let's say cameras, because this is particularly the thing. Remember, now we're talking about camcorders, okay? You'll see a camcorder, it'll have a brand name, and there'll be a price. And then when you click on it, there's like a grid at the bottom that compares it in price to other brands of the same item, okay? Well, in my case, the prices would range about $60, $60 to $80, okay? And I'm looking at these things and I'm reading the descriptions, and and then I buy one, and then I buy another one that's a different brand that's a little more expensive. It's the same fucking camera. It is the same camera. What they do is they buy cameras from a big Chinese company and they just put different brand names on them. And then what they do is they put them on the grid at different prices. But they'll switch the prices depending on which thumbnail you pushed on. So it always looks like that's the best deal. But really, you're buying the same camera, except one's called Sunlay and the other's called Linux and the other's called something else. But they're exactly the same camera. When I called to discuss this prior to getting my hate letter, nobody denied it. They said that's true. So what are they really doing? What they're doing is they're presenting this grid in such a way that for the person who believes more money is better, they're going to buy the same camera for more money than the person who thinks cheaper is better, and they're going to get the same camera as the person who paid more money for less money. And there could be a $60 to $80 variance in that price. So you really can't trust that grid. It's all dependent on what the initial thumbnail is that you push. And then it shows that one as being the best choice. Now, the third one, and then I'm going to take a break. The third one is what I call the computer hustle. Now, again, I'm going to use YouTube as an example. Just, look at any video on, the cheapest or the best deal or the most expensive or whatever, and you always see something that's available at Amazon, right? And the reason, usually, especially when you see cheapest, everything's from Amazon. Well, that may be true. Their computer prices may be cheaper than everybody else. But here's the real sleight of mind that really lit a fire under Mackey's tuchus, okay? And that is that there's a small gray vertical box, and it says, like, setup. And you push that button, and it has a bunch of, like, for someone like me, I didn't understand what the hell they were talking about, but it's all these technical things that they do. And for the grand, meager price of 129 USD. I don't know what that is in euros or guilders or whatever, but it's a shitload of money, okay? But the way the wording is, when you push this button to see what you're getting for this $129, it almost seems as if it's like in the old days when you'd buy from a used computer company, like a shell that just had, like, a hard drive and stuff in it, and you'd have to put Windows in, and you have to put this in, and you have to put that in, and that's what this description looks like. However, I had a friend who knows more about computers than me, and he told me that every single thing that they do for you for this $129 as a Prime member is contained in the setup. Contained in the fucking setup. Every single one of those things is just a fancy way of saying, push the setup button and it'll do it automatically. So again, I called Amazon, said, busted you again. What's this all about? Every single computer you sell has a great price, but there's an additional $129 unless you're real computer savvy, because it looks like you're buying a shell. And really you're buying something that all they're doing is pushing the the setup wizard, and all those little things that are all technically spelled out are done automatically. Busted! So there's another one of my issues. And now I'm going to take another little break, and I'll get down to the final one, which is a real mystery. It's very curious. And I'll be back in a second. Thank you. Okay, I'm back. These last two are a little bit confusing, and in the little break I took, I was trying to figure out how to present it, and it's very difficult. But I'm going to try. Yesterday, I tried to buy a Black Star, like, high-tech mini guitar amp, okay? And when I looked at the thumbnail, the price was starting at, like, I think it was like $48 and some change, which was really, really cheap, because they sell for about $65. And but the question came up, did it come with an AC or DC, whatever it is, adapter? Okay. Well, the description doesn't really say very well whether it comes with one or not. However, I looked at the questions, right, about, find out more information about this item. So I came across the following, which is very interesting. Remember, this is battery operated or on an AC adapter. I'm curious to know whether it comes with an AC adapter. I'm assuming I'd have to buy batteries, right? Okay, here is one question. Are batteries included? And it says, ours came today and did include batteries. So that's interesting, right? Okay, now, this is a funny one. Why does Blackstar 5.3 have a 6.5 power adapter and 6 1.5 batteries? Then it says, good question. Probably so they can sell you a $20 power supply. I swear to God, that's very helpful. Thank you. I mean, you'd think they'd screen the answers, to these questions. I mean, that's totally ridiculous. That's not helpful whatsoever. But okay, we won't blame that. Well, yeah, I will blame that one on Amazon. They should look at what stupidity that some people write down. But here's the big one. Are you all ready? This is the most obvious one. Remember, I'm going to review. The question is, do you get a power supply with this, Blackstar high-tech portable guitar amp, okay? And here's the question. Is the power supply an authentic Blackstar 6.5 volt or a generic 9 volt, comma, a 9 volt not being appropriate for this amp, by the way? The answer, are you ready? It is the authentic Blackstar brand 6.5 volt power supply that is included. That is included. Okay, and then it says, oh, by the way, it's not a generic. So again, is the power supply an authentic Blackstar 6.5 volt or a generic 9 volt? A 9 volt not being appropriate for this amp, by the way. Answer? It is the authentic Blackstar brand 6.5 volt power supply that is included. Included, okay? So I order it. Well, I put it in the shopping cart, and I still was kind of paranoid. So I took it out of the shopping cart and took a ride for a while, came back, went to buy it. Now the price is like $51, okay? And I'm a Prime member. It's $51. Same one. I mean, I had put it in the wish list, right? I don't know what happened. I bought it and then I changed my mind. I took it out. I didn't buy it. I just put it in the cart. I took it out again. Every single time I put it in the cart and take it out and like put another one in and then maybe think I'm going to buy that. No, I'm going to go back and buy the Blackstar. So I'm just switching back and forth. What is the big fucking deal about putting stuff in your cart and taking it out? You're not buying it, right? I mean, I know people that say put stuff in your cart and see how much the shipping is and then decide how much more you want to buy, right? So I'm taking these things in and out. Every single time I take one out and then put the same one back in, the price goes up. So I ended up paying, let's see, it started out at like $48 if I would have just bought it. And I now paid like $55 plus they stuck on $3 shipping, which I didn't think Prime members were supposed to have to pay, but I guess you do. But still, it went up from like $48.30 something to $54 something within about 12 hours. Okay, and it kept saying only 6 left. Buy them soon. Only 6 left. Buy them soon. Guess what? There were 6 left when I ended up paying the $54 for it. They didn't sell any. They weren't running out. They weren't upping the price. It just seems to me that as you take things, put things in and out of your shopping cart, and you see the thing is only 6 items left, they're hoping you're going to make an impulse buy and just buy it. But they don't like it when you take it out of your shopping cart. So when you put it back in, the price goes up a couple of bucks. And to me, and I've said this several times, little theme to this, but I called Amazon again, and I pointed this out, and they gave me this like Wall Street answer. Like every 15 seconds, the price is changing a quarter of a Bitcoin. It was some ridiculous answer like that. And I ended up paying the 54 bucks. And guess what? I still don't know if it has a power supply. And I got a feeling it don't. But I'm going to just use batteries and, maybe buy the power supply again at some other time. Being a Prime member, I can get it in just 2 days, But, those are some of the, like, really sneaky things, I think, that Amazon does in its marketing and its interface and its algorithm. Again, let me just review. This letter I got about too many returns being a Prime member when you're supposed to have as many as you want, and the punishment they gave me. The computer, the camera thing where you can buy the same camera on the grid at different prices under different brand names, but they're all the same camera, and you can pay between $80 more for the same camera than you can if you pick the lower price, and you think you're buying a different camera and it's the same fucking one. Okay, the questions are just useless because they don't answer anything. I still don't know if I'm getting a power supply, and I think I'm not, but yet it said right there, you heard it, it said power supply included. Even if they at one time put a power supply in and now they decided to take it out, don't you think Amazon should take those kind of questions out of their questions, so you don't have to bug them on the phone, to ask all these questions that they don't know how to answer anyway? It's absolutely ridiculous. This whole notion of putting things in your cart and then taking them out, putting them back in, and the price going up like it's Wall Street. I don't understand it. The computer hustle, that one to me is wild. They want to charge you $129 if you don't know how to read technical language just to push your setup wizard button. I find that atrocious. I do like the channel Prime. I think that's good. That's good. And but there's just a lot of sleight of hand. And I don't know what else to call it, and I really don't want anybody to sue me, but I would like Amazon to clear up their shit because it's very confusing. And the amount of time you spend sometimes isn't even worth the savings of money if you do save some. Because you might be the one who chooses to buy the same camera for $189 because you think paying more money makes it better, and yet buy the same camera if you're the person who thinks less is best, and get the same camera for 80 bucks less. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. And with that, I say good night from Max Headroom. Actually, good afternoon from the world of Max Headroom. Carpe diem to everybody, and namaste. Thank you so much.